I just got this box in from Green Chef. They say that they are the most sustainable meal kit, and they actually might be. They were the first ever USDA certified organic meal kit, and they offset 100% of their carbon emissions. So they're completely carbon balanced, which is pretty cool. I ordered about half a dozen meals from them. I don't remember what I ordered now because that's always the case. But let's open it up and see what I got. So it says that right here, recycling instructions for the box and the liner, the ice packs, the kit bags, and any plastic containers that they use. Oh, this is nice. These are full-size recipe cards. Full-size, full-color recipes on the, or recipe info on the front, and then steps on the back. I got one for every meal. Lemon ricotta and artichoke flatbreads, the Moroccan style green pea fritters, wild salmon with piccata sauce, turmeric ginger turkey bowls. I like these little bags. I like that they're paper and not, some companies put them in clear plastic bags, which really bothers me because I know that some of those are recyclable, but it's an extra chore because I have to go to the recycling center. Spicy beef and broccoli noodle bowls. It tells me on the label here what meat these go with, the ones that do have meat. And I just realized all the meat is at the bottom of the box sandwiched between ice packs. So that's extra, extra cold. That's awesome. And then this is a lemon basil pork salad. And that's where I've got all my proteins. There's my salmon, my pork chops, my ground turkey, and my ground beef. And then a couple of these I got are vegetarian or vegan plant-based options. And that's it. I really like the way everything is like divided up like this. It's gonna make it super easy to just grab a bag and grab, you know, the corresponding protein and get cooking. But for now, I'm gonna put this in the fridge and I'm gonna make some dinners later. All right, I'm gonna make my first Green Chef meal for dinner tonight, and I'm gonna start with the salmon with piccata sauce. I figured it was a good idea to start with the seafood just so that it's as fresh as possible. The recipe here has a list on the side of things that I'll need, both, you know, cooking utensils and some extra ingredients. Ingredients-wise, it's just cooking in olive oil, butter, salt, and pepper, which I have. I was a little nervous about all of like the cooking utensils just because I just moved and most of my stuff is in storage still. There are quite a few things on here, some of which I have. I need a baking sheet, which I actually do have. A medium bowl, which I have, I think like a cereal bowl size. So we'll see how that goes. Measuring spoons, I surprisingly do have. I have like a cheap plastic set that my mother-in-law brought over the other day. All of my good stuff is still in storage though. I don't have a thermometer, but I'm pretty confident in my ability to cook salmon to temp. It's nice to have to check and make sure everything's cooked thoroughly, but I'm okay with not having that. And then it calls for a medium nonstick pan and a large saute pan. All I have right now is my trusty cast iron, which I use for everything. That never went into storage. That's been following us around. And this very small, cheap, like grocery store pan. So we'll see how it goes with just these pans. I have a feeling that there will be a lot of sauteed kale spilling out over the top of one of these at some point. But you know, if you're not in the process of moving and you're not living in a dorm room, I feel like you'll be fine with what you need. I grabbed the bag for the salmon piccata and my salmon. I haven't even opened this yet. This is all of my ingredients other than the salmon and the oils and butter that I need. Here's my kale, a little container of parsley, 2 cloves of garlic. It kind of drives me crazy when they do stuff like this. I don't love the like plastic bag for just 2 cloves of garlic. I understand why, you know, they don't want to give me like a whole bulb of garlic. A way too big bag for my capers. This is also kind of a shame because I actually do have both capers and garlic in my fridge, or one in my fridge, one on my counter. Oh, the beets are already like peeled and chopped. That's awesome because I love beets, but I hate preparing them. They're so messy. It's like so much work, and then my hands and the counters and everything gets stained red, so I'm pretty happy about that. They're already like nicely chopped into little beet cubes. Some walnuts. This is a little weird, but Oh, it's dripping a little too. There's a bell pepper that's already kind of cut. I guess it's nice that they seeded it for me, but it looks like most of a bell pepper. It's like 2 halves of bell pepper. And this is vegetable broth with lemon juice mixed together for the piccata sauce. That's interesting. I guess that's nice that they put it all together into one pouch. It's a little less packaging. Not how I expected it to be packaged though, in a little plastic baggie. But it looks like they did at least a little bit of the prep work for me, which is awesome. But according to this recipe card, it's gonna take me about 35 minutes to cook this. So I'm gonna get started with my tiny little pans and we'll see how we do. Is my salmon with piccata sauce. The sauce is a little bit broken, maybe a little oily. I think it's because they had me add extra oil to the pan that already had, but I don't know. There's also nothing in the sauce to really thicken it at all. There's no like flour or anything in it, so it is basically just melted butter and broth. So it took me probably closer to an hour rather than 35 minutes. Part of that was because I was taking videos and stopping to take pictures and stuff. I also used a very tiny pan to cook my kale, so that took longer than if I had a large sauté pan because I had to kind of wait for it to cook down and add more. The instructions don't tell you to, at least for this recipe, to start the next step while you're on, while you've got something on the stove or something in the oven. I kind of took the initiative to start my sauce while my kale was still sauteing, but I could see that slowing you down if you're gonna wait for the beets to roast before you start something else. It's just not explicit. So especially if you're new to cooking and you're not really sure about timing, which I think is one of the hardest things about cooking, especially if you're cooking a meal that has multiple pots and pans going, that's something that could be a little bit confusing. I also used more dishes than I would like. It took, there was a sheet pan, there were the 2 different pans. A couple things that were not listed on here that I needed. Something to, flip a spatula to flip the salmon. Maybe like I used the same spatula for the beets. I used a pair of tongs for the kale. You could use the same thing for all 3, stuff like that. Measuring spoons were really just to measure out oil. So if you're comfortable eyeballing it, don't worry about it. Let's taste this before it gets really cold. The skin got really nice and crispy, which is awesome. Salmon is super fresh. That's delicious, even with my really chunky garlic, because I only had a small knife. Kale's tasty. Walnuts are a nice touch. I almost wish they had told me to put just like a little splash of that broth and lemon juice mixture in there to braise it instead of the water. I feel like that would have added a little extra flavor. Taste the beets and then the peppers separately and then taste them together, because the peppers were a little slimy when I cut them up. Beets are good, roasted nice and tender. Again, like just a little salt and pepper and oil on them. I kind of wish there was like a little extra seasoning. And the peppers taste fine. They weren't, bad or moldy or anything. They were just, I think because it was a cut pepper in a plastic bag, they were definitely starting to get like just a little bit slimy. I kind of wish they had just given me a whole pepper. All in all, I'm super happy with this. It did take me a little bit longer. Of the meals I got, this one was, I think, the 2nd longest cook time though. So hopefully the other ones will be faster. I'm going to make these spicy beef and broccoli noodle bowls. I got my ground beef, I got my bag of ingredients, red pepper flakes, some tapioca flour, agave, roasted red pepper already kind of diced up for me, yellow onion and ginger also already kind of diced up for me, gluten-free tamari, those are my udon noodles, and broccoli. I forgot the garnish. We've got black and white sesame seeds. It says it's gonna take me 20 minutes. It's probably gonna take me longer than that, but that's okay. It looks delicious. Hopefully mine looks that good. Let's get cooking. spicy beef and broccoli noodle bowl. This smells so good. I'm so excited to try this. Beef and broccoli is like one of my comfort foods, but I usually do sliced beef and I serve it with rice instead of noodles. This is like a nice twist. It was so easy to make. I think the thing that took the longest was just waiting for the water to boil to cook the udon noodles. The only real prep I had to do was to slice up the broccoli, and then everything else was just opening packages and, you know, sauteing everything. Be a little hot, but I'm gonna try it. Yum. I used the whole pack of red pepper flakes. They recommend you go light on them or omit them if you're sensitive to spice. Really good. This is super flavorful. I kind of wish that I had more sauce. I think a lot of the sauce cooked off. I was also, you know, pausing to take some pictures and stuff, so I probably let it cook down a little more than I should have. Totally user error, but I do wish there was just like a little bit more delicious sauce. The noodles are coated in it and it is super flavorful, but I just want it just like a tiny bit saucier. Other than that, this is awesome. And it was so easy. I'm very happy with this one. Dinner tonight is lemon ricotta flatbreads, one of the vegetarian meals that I got. Let's open it up. Flatbreads, organic radishes, artichoke hearts, a little packet of honey, some crumbled feta cheese, the most adorable little container of ricotta, lemon, another little packet of honey, snap peas, red pepper flakes, the sauce. It's shug sauce. Looks like a kind of herbal oil-based sauce. Awesome. Let's get cooking. Yum. Okay, so this might have been the easiest meal I've made yet from Green Chef. This is the third one I've done so far. It smells incredible. Shug sauce, I don't know how to pronounce it. Shug sauce it's like a spiced cilantro and parsley sauce. The green was a little bit oily and I used the whole package between two flatbreads. So I already know that these are gonna be super messy. I'm like flinging feta cheese already, but I think it looks pretty good. It smells incredible and I'm okay with a little bit messy. That is a winner right there. The lemon ricotta, the spice. I used most of the red pepper flakes because I like spice, with like the sweetness of the honey. Oh my God, that is so good. This is a recipe that I will make again and again and again. This is so good and super easy. Absolutely fantastic. I'm on Green Chef meal number 4 now. So we're going with the one that looks like it's gonna be the fastest, and that is the turmeric ginger turkey bowls. It says it cooks in 25 minutes. There's not a ton of prep. I think I have to peel and chop some carrots and some kale, and that looks like it's kind of it. Wish me luck, and let's see what's in the bag. Kale, looks like Tuscan kale. It's in pretty good shape still. It's been almost a week since I got these in the mail. Feta cheese, cauliflower rice, turmeric and cumin spice blend. Another bag of yellow onion and ginger. I saw that earlier this week. Harissa seasoning, yum. Turmeric spiced ginger vinaigrette. My carrots, and of course the ground turkey. I almost forgot there's a little thing of sour cream in here too. Awesome, this looks pretty easy. Hopefully it doesn't take me much longer than 25 minutes. Let's get started. their picture looks a lot prettier than mine. Theirs is all spread out nicely on a plate too, and mine's just piled in a bowl. But that was so fast and so easy. This was, I think, the fastest one that I've made, despite the fact that one of the other ones had a cook time of 20 minutes and this one says 25. I think this was even faster. It smells incredible. I love all these flavors like turmeric and harissa and everything. So I'm looking forward to this one. It's, you know, definitely not the prettiest one of the meals I ordered, but that is really good. All the flavors work super well together. Everything's well cooked, despite the fact that it took me no time. So fast. This is gonna be really hearty and filling. This is an absolute win in my mind. Dinner tonight is lemon basil pork salads. This is the last meat meal that I have from Green Chef. Got these boneless pork chops here. Let's see what else is in the bag. More kale. So this is, I think, the third meal that's come with kale. Lemon pepper herb seasoning, currants, a Roma tomato, which held up surprisingly well. I got these delivered, I think it was about a week ago now. It's held up really well. Hazelnuts, Parmesan cheese, lemon basil caper sauce with avocado. Yum. I think this one's gonna be really good. I'm excited about this one. This was another super easy one. It smells really good. It's close to the picture. My proportions are off. I ended up with like a lot of this Parmesan frico, which I'm not mad about because it's basically a Parmesan cracker. And it was so fun and so easy to make. I just sprinkled the little shredded Parmesan on a cookie sheet and threw it in the oven and let it toast up nice and crispy. So good. It's like Cheez-Its, but better. Yeah, this was super easy to make. There's still plenty of food here. I don't think I'm gonna be hungry after eating this at all. Oh man, the basil, so good. Pork is juicy, tender. I cooked it the exact amount of time that they told me to. My stove runs just like a little bit hot, so I put it on closer to medium than medium high, but other than that, the exact amount of time they told me to came out perfect. Yum. The dressing is so good. This is another win. I am so impressed with Green Chef so far. Every single thing I've had is so tasty, so fresh. This box has been sitting in my fridge for a week and it still tastes super, super fresh. You know, the kale wasn't wilted at all. I showed you this tomato was like perfect still. So impressed. I'm gonna go eat this because this is delicious. I am doing my final Green Chef meal tonight. They're these Moroccan style green pea fritters, kind of like falafel-y. I saved this one for last because it looks like it might be the most involved, and I was kind of procrastinating on doing it. It's also been a little over a week since I got these in. I got 6 meals in, so hopefully it held up. I guess this will be a good test of that though. One thing about this recipe is that it calls for a food processor, which I don't have. I don't think that's uncommon for a lot of people to not have. They do have instructions on the back. This section here is kind of like what to do if you don't have a food processor. Essentially, it's just like hand mashing and mixing things, which is nice. I thought it was kind of weird though that they call for a food processor. It doesn't seem like something that everyone is necessarily going to have in their kitchen. But hopefully I won't have any problems making this. Let's see what's in the bag. A couple of dates, cauliflower, some peas, a scallion, toasted Israeli couscous, pistachios, Moroccan seasoning, herb miso tahini sauce, veggie juice concentrate or veggie broth, vegetable stock concentrate, it says on my list. Panko and a little bag of flour. Everything looks good except for some of the cauliflower got a little bit gross. That's mostly my fault. It's been, I want to say like 8 or 9 days. I got 6 meals, so in theory they should have lasted me at least 6 days. I saved this one for last, mostly because I was procrastinating, as I said, but also because it was vegetarian and I wanted to eat all of the meat and seafood right away. I'm gonna cook this up and see how it tastes. Moroccan style green pea fritters. I don't think I did too bad. It looks pretty close to the picture. Making the fritters was a somewhat humbling experience. One thing that I think it's honestly maybe my only complaint so far, or my only real complaint about Green Chef, is that when I chose this recipe, I didn't know in advance what I was gonna need in terms of equipment. They told me on the website, if you like click on the recipe, you can get a breakdown of the ingredients that you'll get in the bag, cook time, I think calories, stuff like that. And they tell you what like food, edible ingredients you need. So like salt, cooking oil, olive oil, stuff like that. It didn't say anything about the equipment that I would need under the recipe. You can download a PDF of the recipe when you're browsing the menu, which I assume would show you, which does show you both sides, and you know, you could check from there what equipment you need. I don't usually do that when I'm like browsing recipes. I look at the picture, I look at the ingredients, stuff like that, but I'm not gonna go in and download every single recipe and read them in advance. So it's something to know. The fact that they gave me instructions on how to make this without a food processor makes me feel like they probably will do that with other things. And I actually just went and looked at the next like 3 weeks worth of menus, and I didn't see anything that jumped out as needing extra equipment like that. So it might be a rare thing. I muddled through it and it looks pretty good. So we'll see. Let's give it a taste. The flavor is really, really good. It's just a little bit dry. That might have been me overcooking it, or you know, the fact that the peas weren't fully incorporated. I feel like that's where most of the moisture comes from. But the sauce does a really incredible job of masking all that. I love anything with miso in it. I also love Middle Eastern or North African food. So the combination of the two is just making me so happy right now. The couscous is divine. Dates, pistachios. I simmered it with like that little packet of vegetable stock concentrate, and it was so good. And then I lost a little bit of cauliflower that I had to cut off because it was starting to get squishy, which was again, totally my fault. But I feel like I still have plenty of food here. This is like a perfect serving. That's super tasty as well. Honestly, their spice blends and their sauces are what takes this up a notch, and the quality of their ingredients. Everything is elevated. Everything was like, with the exception of trying to form a falafel, everything was pretty easy to make, but like really, really fresh, really delicious. Yeah, this was another win. So I absolutely loved Green Chef. You know, with the exception of that cauliflower that I left in the fridge a little too long, everything was so, so fresh, super tasty. I love that it's certified organic. That made me feel really good about all of these meals. Everything was easy, even with, you know, stopping to film and take pictures and stuff. Nothing took me more than an hour to cook. Maybe that falafel, I didn't time myself on that, but If it did, a lot of it was just me, you know, waiting to move from one step to the next. And you could probably condense that, you know, if you're not worried about getting photos of every step. Would absolutely keep a membership to this. I would probably do like 3 meals a week for 2 people. It's honestly like starts at around 80 bucks, which I think is really reasonable for all organic. I don't think I would do more than that. They don't offer plans for like 7 meals a week, which is good because I know myself and I know I would leave stuff in the fridge for too long. But yeah, if you're gonna do like 3 or 4 days a week, highly recommend. Everything was awesome. Portion size was perfect. The flavors are spot on. The cook times were spot on. My oven and my stove are, I think they both run a little hot. I'm still getting used to them because I just moved in, but I, you know, cooked everything to the lower end of what they recommended and everything came out perfect. I didn't burn anything. Same with like salting everything. Nothing was over salted when I followed the instructions. Yeah, everything, like I said, everything was just spot on. Portion sizes were perfect. Food was super healthy, but also super interesting. I am obsessed with their sauces, their dressings, their spice blends. They just made everything so interesting and delicious and more exciting than some of the other meal plans that I've tried. So yeah, very, very pleased with this. I made 6 meals this week and absolutely loved every single one of them. So highly recommend.